Hey there, welcome to day 60 of playing chess every day until I reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1198 after a loss yesterday, and let's go ahead and just jump right into a game here. Okay, we're up against an 1166 and we got white. Go ahead and play our standard London moves. We went ahead and blocked in his bishop right away, his light square bishop. What is this a6 move? I'm not sure what. Oh, I guess it's to block any potential checks here. Let's go ahead and do the knight here, and then decide if we want to go c3 or c4. Okay, so we get c5. So in that case, we definitely want to just support it with c3. Yeah. And then if he takes, we'll take back with the e pawn and open up the e file here. And I think I want to get my knight to d2. Oh, interesting. Pushes that forward right away. I don't think that that's that good of a move. I'm not sure. Maybe it's okay. I think I've seen it before and the engine said it was like not that great. I don't know if it was like a major inaccuracy, but I have this check now. I guess I had it before, but I have this check. You could push the pawn. I don't think I have anything after that. Go here, no, that's bishop can see that. So yeah, I don't think the check gives me anything. I could go here right away, which might be a good idea, but let's get this other knight out first. I guess his idea is he wants to block my light square bishop in, but yeah, let's go ahead and get this other knight out. Okay, he's just pushing all the pawns, trying to take up as much space as he can. Let's probably get our knight over. If he plays this, where will we want to go? I could take his knight first. Take, knight. Oops, not drawing arrows properly right now. Take, knight here. We're threatening to hop into here. It's not like a fork or anything quite yet though. So let's simply maybe actually just go for a pawn break here. Or no, let's just go for the e4 pawn break. Let's develop the bishop first though. Bishop first, and then e4 pawn break. Okay, his knight develops there. It can't really go anywhere since my pawns cover all these squares. I can always go here, he trades, take back with the pawn, then his knight is kind of restricted as well, the other knight. Let's go ahead and go for the pawn break, I think. Or do I want to go knight? Knight or push the pawn? Let's just castle first, actually. Okay, now I think I should go knight. He has two attackers, I have two defenders. I'm fine taking back with the pawn, I think. Because if I drop back like I normally would, I've castled now, so it doesn't open up the rook, so there's no use of doing that. So it's either I take, but I don't really want to do that. I never am a big fan of taking and just giving the opponent's queen like a lot of activation into the center, so I think I'll just block here. His knight is undefended. Okay, so he defends the knight, and he adds a third attacker here. I'm just going to add this knight. Oh, let's see if there's... Is there any kind of tactic? Take. I don't think so. Take here. Queen can take. If the queen takes, we take this way. So that doesn't really work, so he would need to take with the king. Check. He can block. I think that that works. Let's just go for this knight move. Get another defender here. And his king's in the center. He hasn't castled yet. My development is better than his right now, and I'm castled. So maybe I should try to open the position up. But I'm not sure how now that I kind of moved. Normally when I play e4, I have several pieces here to support it, but right now I don't have any. Okay, so he's kicking the knight with this pawn. He's pushing a lot of pawns. If I take here, he takes back here. Let's see if there's a different sequence that benefits him. If I take here and he takes this right away. Maybe that's good for him. Because I don't have any follow-up captures with the knight. Yeah, I think let's take. Do I lose a pawn if he takes like this? Okay, he doesn't take like that, so I guess we're just trading. Which, I'll just go for that. Or do I? I guess I don't really have anything else. Knight can't really do much. Yeah, I think just trade. And my pieces are still a lot more active than his. I want to move this knight. I might actually move it back to here and prepare for the pawn push, and also try to open this bishop up and maybe get the rook to the e-file. Or do I go for this pawn break? Try to take that. No, because that just opens up his rook, which right now is kind of closed off over here. So yeah, I think we'll go with moving the knight. Either move it here, but that doesn't really do anything for me. There, check. Push the pawn. Yeah, that doesn't quite work for anything. So let's just drop the knight back. The dark square bishops are traded off, so I can keep that in mind. Try to avoid light squares more, maybe. Okay, I can push this. Takes, we take it with the knight. Let's just go ahead and push that. Actually, maybe I should have given this check just to force his pawns to come away from his king more. Make his king weaker. But now he can castle. He goes ahead and castles. Decide if I want to just bring this bishop out, or bring the rook here first, or just simply take and try to open the position up a little. The only thing is, if I take and he takes back the pawn, his bishop gets freed up, so I actually don't think I want to do that. But if I push, he has two attackers, so I think I need to just defend, maybe support the pawn. Maybe go here? No, because he could take that. Yeah, everything feels really cramped. I could go here and try to pressure this pawn, but he could push this. Yeah, the position is so cramped, I'm not sure what to do. Could go knight back, but then I block the bishop in again. Try to get this to trade off. I need to free up the queen as well to come over here, so yeah, something has to happen with the bishop. Maybe bishop to here. Prevents the knight from doing anything though. If I go here, he plays here. Take, take. Knight comes in. Could probably just chill like that. So maybe I will just go here. Because I really just need to make room for everything to come out here. And we're putting a little bit of pressure on this pawn, but it is twice defended, so. But I can get the rook over here. Maybe try to push this and then open it up this way. Would open his rook up. But I think opening his bishop up would not be the best. I would like to keep his bishop closed off, if possible. Also, I wonder if this pawn break attempt is good. I take, he takes back, he opens up his rook there, no, but then we just trade. Actually, yeah, he can't take back because he'll be pinned. If I take, he's pinned. His rooks aren't connected for now. And then if he takes, I come in here with the queen. Rerouting his knight maybe to just put more protection on this square. His knight can come into here or here. I think I'm just going to... Actually, do I want to prevent his knight from coming in here? I don't want his knight to get to this outpost. That would not be good. So yeah, I kind of want to avoid his knight getting to here. But I'm not a big fan of pushing the G pawn. But maybe I should. It might be worth it in this case. Let's probably do that. So far the position is still super locked up. So we're going to need some kind of pawn break to happen. This one I don't want. I think I'm okay with this one if I push and then take this way or something. And then potentially this a4 one, which maybe I should go for. Queen's coming back. I push right now. He has 2 attackers, or 3 attackers, so I cannot push that right now. I could develop the knight back here. Where do I want my knight to be? If I could get my knight here, that would be really good. This would be a perfect outpost, and it's on a dark square. So his light square bishop couldn't trade off for it. But I can't get there. You know what? Maybe I should go for this pawn break. But if he does not take it, it doesn't really work. So it might not be that good. Alright, let's just put the rook on the file here first. On the open file. And I am seeing that this pawn is now only protected by his bishop. So maybe there's something that we can make happen there. Could also just he takes back and just trade the bishop off, but I don't think I want to because mine's more active than his. But it would open up the rook, so maybe it would be worth it. Trade the bishops off and just take the rook file. Or try to use something else to put more pressure on this pawn. This would be a good outpost if this pawn weren't here. So as long as this pawn is protecting it, it might be better to try to reroute my knight somehow to get over to c5, because that would be a perfect spot for it. Is there another way I can reroute it? Maybe here, no, that doesn't work. Oh, interesting. Yeah, let's go ahead and push that. So I think I'll just take it. He could take back. I'll move my bishop, probably just move it backwards or figure out where I want to put it. And then I'm immediately putting some more pressure on this pawn. Or no, never mind, because he's going to take back with that pawn. Yeah, let's just take... Yeah. So, if I go back, then this is a discovered attack, but I can just take. And now I do have the nice open file, and there are quite a few weak pawns to potentially try to put pressure on. I could go here right away and immediately pressure this one, which I think is better than going back. Yeah, let's go for that. Okay. Wins that. And then should I try to go for this pawn break at all? I mean, his rook is no longer pinned. I haven't moved my queen at all. Maybe I move my queen here. But this pawn is supported by the rook. And I think I might move my bishop back to prepare my knight to come out, actually. Let's go for that. Because my knight is looking... It'll look a lot better now on this square, now that this pawn was pushed forward, so I can get there. Have a nice outpost. If he does take and trade there... let's see, okay, he wants to get the rook trade. If I take it, he'll have the file, but I think I'm okay with trading stuff off. But I might just go here. Here. If he takes, I take back. He can't challenge the file because I can just take. So here and then here. If he takes with the knight, I potentially can take back with the pawn and make a passed pawn. As long as I have enough support for it. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the knight. And if I can get rid of his knight here and get my rook here, then it could put a lot of pressure on these pawns as well. Also, I think if I go queen here and pressure this pawn, then I am threatening to go take take, and then win the pawn. So I might actually go for that next. Okay, no, he's supporting the pawn with his queen. That's not going to be a threat anymore. I could pin the pawn to his queen. Yeah, I could try to get multiple attackers on that. How many defenders do I have here? If I jump in, I have 2 defenders. He has 2 attackers. So I can hop in there. And I have 2 options to try to pressure this pawn with the queen. Alright, yeah, let's just hop in. It's tempo on the queen as well here. And if he does trade, then yeah, okay, he wants to trade. So I think I'll take with the rook. Take, and then I support the pawn. Maybe just with this. Or I take with the pawn right away. Is that beneficial to take with the pawn right away? Then we keep his rook on the board. I think I'd rather trade it. He's thinking about it. If he doesn't take it, then do I want to take his rook? Maybe I'll try to put more pressure on this pawn first. Because if I can get a couple attackers on this pawn, bishop on it, queen on it, he can always move his bishop back to cover it as well, though, instead of this one. I need to get this other rook involved, though. So maybe queen up here or queen over here or something like that. I don't think queen here is that good because I'm not really threatening to take the pawn since the bishop could just take the queen if I took. Okay, get the trade. So now we have a passed pawn, and he does not have a passed pawn. So that could be pretty useful going into the endgame. Okay, he is blocking me from protecting it with the pawn. If I take this one, he takes with the rook, and I'm not a big fan of that. I think I'd rather let him take. If he pushes this, I can't go there because the queen's looking. I have to drop back. Might just go here. No, because then if he takes, it's a discovered attack. But yeah, I don't really want to take and open up this. Then I have split up pawns as well. So let's just support our pawn if we can here. Let me go queen up first and then prepare to bring the rook over to support it. I can support it right away with the queen. If he plays here, I can go here, I guess. Yeah, I think... Actually, I don't know. This doesn't feel like a great square because there's no more pawn there. So maybe I do want to go, not there, maybe here. And I can drop onto a dark square if I want to. Put a little bit of pressure, support the pawn, put a little bit of pressure on his pawn behind it. I think that could be good. Or right here, because if I go here, then I am double attacking his pawn, so it kind of pressures him to take, which might be better. No, I can't go there, never mind, because that's the queen will just take it. Yeah, let's go here. And then the queen is kind of a temporary defender. I just want to get it to a better square. But then the rook will be the main defender of the passed pawn. And we'll try to keep the passed pawn on the dark square here for now. Because anytime it's on a light square, if it gets blocked on a light square, then it becomes more vulnerable because he can always overload it a bit more with his bishop. And if he takes this pawn, I'm going to take back with the h-pawn, I think. Because then we still have the option of trying to support our passed pawn with the f-pawn. But at this point, I think I should just try to get trades and play for the endgame. I haven't considered the pawns over here very much, like how that's going to go in the endgame. I think they're pretty locked up for the most part, because none of them are passed pawns. If this one pushes, I can always take it with this. There are two that can be taken, so maybe if he pushes this one and then I took that, this one would be a passed pawn. But I think I wouldn't take it for that reason, if he pushed the b pawn. Because we don't want to let the d pawn become a passed pawn for him. Okay, so he does go ahead and threaten me there. I think, let's just make sure that queen isn't going to be trapped or something. I could go here and try to get a queen trade. I can go here. If he pushes this, I could just take it. I kind of like being in the dark square. And then maybe trying to come up into here. Not right now because the rook's there, but... yeah, I think this is good. I'm putting pressure on this pawn. I also have this, which could be better actually. It kind of locks up his pawns, puts pressure on his rook, prevents his king from really coming out that much. I mean, he could come out in the light square here, but that seems appealing. Not sure which one I want to go with. Here, if he doesn't take the trade, I can come into here with check. Ooh, that's pretty nice actually. So maybe he needs to take the trade there. Let's just try to go for the trade. I'm pretty indecisive though on the queen squares, like which ones were really better. Going for the trade, I feel like there was probably a better move than going for the trade, but I'm not sure. I mean, both of these seem decent, but a little bit risky. I guess not that risky since he doesn't have a dark square bishop, he doesn't have any knights, so it's hard for him to really threaten the queen there. So maybe either of these squares were okay. But I think going into an endgame, I have a better endgame position here with my passed pawn, so taking the queen trade seems pretty appealing. Okay, he's just defending, but I think that that's a mistake, because I take, he takes, and then I take his pawn, and with check. I think he hung the pawn there. And then now I have could push the pawn with tempo on the bishop. Bishop could block or go back to here. I could push again with tempo on the rook. Rook could block. Then I can support it, and then we tie down his rook to my pawn. I think I like that. The only thing is, if the rook and the king come over, you might be able to take it. But if the bishop goes back to here or here, I could get my bishop in to support as well. It's a little bit risky. Also, if his rook comes over, then I can just take this pawn. So I think I like that idea. Okay, and I definitely don't want to stay on the light square and let him pressure me with the rook and the bishop, so let's move again, I think. I think that's going to be the way to go. I mean, I could put the rook behind it first, but I think I like the idea of just moving with tempo and then getting the rook behind it. And he doesn't have a great way. Oh wait, actually, I was thinking that the light square bishop covers the promotion square, but it doesn't cover the e7 square. So maybe he would be able to capture here over. It's not supported. Take. Okay, let's think about this for a second, because I can also threaten his rook with my bishop, so there might be a way to actually promote here. Here. And he doesn't have time to overload the pawn with the king, because I can go here right away, threaten the rook. King can't come over. Rook needs to move. Oh wait, no, the rook could just take the pawn. It's not protected. So let's just support the pawn first. Just get 2 pieces supporting it. And then I should try to activate my king. And I don't know if I should make any pawn moves over here. It's 3 on 3. Are there any pawn breaks? Not really. Okay, he's threatening with the king right away. He did give up this pawn, and this is still double protected for now. Let's take here, just take the free pawn. I think it's a free pawn. If I go here, that's not going to... Well, he does have to block. But then I'm going to lose it afterwards. So let's just take the free pawn. And I might end up losing my passed pawn. It might be a little hard to defend, actually. Okay, I can push it here. I might just push it and get the rook trade. Is that a good idea? I'm not sure. I can't support it with this. Push it, he'll take it. I can take back with the rook and we trade. I don't have much time, so I think let's just try to go for that. And then let's keep everything on dark squares as much as possible to activate the king. We're up 1 pawn, but my pawns here are doubled. I don't have any passed pawns now. I gotta look at the review and see, maybe I shouldn't have pushed that pawn. Maybe it was a little too early to start pushing it, since I think once I did push it, it actually was, I was gonna lose it. Maybe I needed to activate my king first, get the king behind it, and then it could come and start pushing it. Because I think I definitely lost some of my advantage by pushing that too early and then having to trade it off, but we're still up 1 pawn, so we still have a little bit of an edge if we can play the in-game properly. If I can get the king up to here and push this, push one of these pawns and get one traded off and the other will potentially be a passed pawn. Or if I push that one, there is a road to making a passed pawn here. So I think king up first. Okay, he's coming in right away. Should I go here to block his squares so he can't come in on the light squares? I think that might be a good idea. And then I can always support the bishop with this pawn. And if he ever trades it, I'll just undouble my pawns. So maybe this will be a nice square to keep the bishop. If he pushes here, I think I'll just take, and then I will have a pass pawn on the f-file. Okay, let's activate the king first. Can't get my king to here because of his bishop. Go here. But I'm afraid of moving the bishop at all. I kind of want to actually maybe reroute the king. Potentially, but I'm a little bit afraid of moving the bishop because I don't want his king to infiltrate here. Especially because these pawns are a little bit weak. I mean, they're all weak. They're all unsupported by other pawns. So only my king can defend them. Okay, he's pushing over here. Do I need to push anything? I don't think so. I could go here, threaten this pawn. He pushes that. Then this one is weak. He can defend it here. Then maybe I'll walk my king over and attack it. If he pushes that, I'd take here though. Okay, let's try this real quick. Because I don't know what other plan to go for, because I do think I'm a little locked up here. Okay, let's go here. Oh, actually no, I should have gone the other way, because then his bishop wouldn't be able to defend it. Oh, he wants the bishop trade. Yeah, probably need to give him the bishop trade. I don't know though, I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, let's just trade. Let's just do the trade since I'm low on time. Let's go up. These kind of 3-on-3 pawn situations are very confusing most of the time for me, so I think that it's okay. If he takes, I take back, then we're both locked up. If he pushes, I push, and then it's locked up. So yeah, I think it's locked up either way. So I'm going to focus over here. I like that we're getting more in-game practice though. Been getting pretty good amount of it lately. In-games are pretty tricky. So if he runs over this way, I'm going to focus over here. And with both of these pawns on the h-file and the f-file, one of them should be able to turn into a pass pawn with the help of my king here. If he doesn't run over that way, I'm not sure exactly what I'll do. Is there a way to get a pass pawn for me over here? If I push that on passant, he takes, I take. No, it's still locked up. If he ever pushes this one, I just take here. So he can't push his a pawn. And he can't push his c pawn. He can only do anything with his b pawn. He could take, and then it's locked up. Or he could push. Okay, he's going to stay over this way. I think I'm going to push this pawn. I don't have too much time to think about it. If I push here, take, he can attack my pawn. Oh, he's attacking that way. Let's go here. And then let's go... Don't want him to come into the light square here. Let's go here. Unless I made a run for the other way. Let's go here with check. I don't know if that was a bad idea. Let's go. He's coming for my pawns from behind. Take. Should I take? He takes. He has a pretty fast route to make a pass pawn if we do that. I'll let him come around and have to take on his own. Let's use my time to play this. I can come in, sacrifice this pawn, come in here, and then I should be able to take right back, and then try to make a pass pawn with the F pawn. Or try to, run for a promotion. He might be closer to promote than I am, though. Okay, we take here. He's going to promote on this dark square on the C file, so let's stay off of dark squares. Don't want to get... Actually, should I try to come down? No, because he's going to be able to promote pretty easily. Let's go here, and then we have the option to come down. Here. I mean, he's able to just push it because it's supported, so I think he's going to beat me to promotion here, unless, yeah. Yeah, I definitely need to go through this one in the review and figure out what I should have done, because I don't know if just giving up the pass pawn, if that was it, because I still had a +1 advantage, so I should have been able to ideally still win there. Okay, I'll just play for a second, because, I don't know, people mess up sometimes. I think if he just goes here, he can just win the pawn right away. That's probably the best idea. Okay, no, he's just going to do the slow way. Let's go here. Is there a way I can get a stalemate? It is kind of easy to stalemate with 2 queens sometimes, so I'm sure he probably won't. He's been playing well this game, but you never know. Okay, if I go here, let's go this one. Let's go here. He's really taking his time. Okay, now let's just mate here, because I can't go to this square. Oh, he's going to a different square. Okay, now he's going to get it. Alright, let's see the game review. That was a good game. We took the loss, but he played really well and we had a nice endgame. And I want to see where I went wrong at the endgame. Okay, it looks like there was just one mistake. Just looking at the bar real quick. So I had 79.6 accuracy, he had 82.6, and if I look at the bar, I was winning quite a bit, and then there was one mistake. It wasn't a blunder or anything. It looks like it was a mistake that just completely tanked the eval bar. I don't know what that was, so I need to see what that was. I guess maybe that was when I gave up the pass pawn, but why did it go so much in his favor? It must have been something else. Because just losing the pass pawn, I should have still been winning. Okay, that was inaccurate. Oh, it did want me to play for a4, which I was really considering for a while. So if he took, that's a mistake. Wait, what's this tactic? Take, sacrifice the knight. Okay, that's a brilliant move. I'm not sure what it's for yet. Then we take this. Take. I'm just curious what this leads to. Wait. Why can't you just take it right away? Oh, because the skewer. But even then, he's up. Even if I win the rook. Okay, no, because he can't take it back. So yeah, I'll be up material if I win the rook. Okay, let's go back to what we actually played. I was just curious about what that brilliant move was. So we never played a4, I don't think, to go for that pawn break, even though it did want it. Instead, we just took some trades here. Yeah, I realized right after I played this that I should have gone ahead and given this check, because it weakens his pawns. He would push that, and I just drop right back. And then, yeah, he has a much weaker pawn structure there, and the king doesn't have much protection. So I saw that right after I played e4, but e4 still says excellent. It did want me to just take this, but the whole time I was avoiding this because I just didn't want to free his bishop up. But I guess it was more important to just open it up and maybe get a rook to the center, to the center there instead of worrying so much about his bishop being tied down. Because like that can help to lock in the bishop, but it's not a huge positional advantage. It's just kind of a small positional advantage. So I think in this case, opening it up, I guess, was a bigger positional advantage. And I should have just gone ahead and done that. Okay, this was inaccurate. It still wants me to go ahead and play taking on d5. I really didn't want the knight coming in here, though, because I thought, let's see, if he took back, then it does want me to go for the bishop trade. But then I was worried. Oh, then it does want me to play this. So it does want me to stop the knight, actually. It just preferred that I get rid of the bishops first. You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense, too, because when I push g3, the main weakness of that is that it weakens the light squares around the king. So if we trade the light square bishops off first, then it's not as big of an issue. Only the queen can be a threat on those light squares. But without the support of the light square bishop or anything, it shouldn't be a huge deal. So that does make sense. It was inaccurate to play it like right there. When going back was inaccurate, it wanted him to push e5. Yeah, pawn breaks are confusing. The engine always knows like the perfect pawn breaks, but I have trouble thinking about which pawn breaks to go for. Maybe I shouldn't overthink them and just go for them. Just go for pawn breaks in the middle, just keep it simple, open the position up. Maybe that's better to do. Especially when I'm, when I have a nice, safe king. That was a miss. It still really wants me to do this. It says I could win a pawn here, actually. How do I win the pawn, though? Because he can take back. And then we just trade the bishop. Let's see. Win it by coming back here. He defends it. Oh. Well, he still can defend it from here. Okay, that was a lot of moves and I still didn't win a pawn, so I'm not sure how I am supposed to win the pawn. Okay, yeah, I don't see that. Maybe let me click on show follow-up. Let's see what it wanted. So wait, that still didn't win a pawn, so I'm confused. Go follow-up. Is it a different? Okay, I don't get it. It says I can win a pawn, but it doesn't. It wants him to push this pawn instead of taking back, but I really don't know why. Read that. I like the pressure on this pawn. It says this was inaccurate. Let's see the eval. So I'm plus 0.74, so I have a little bit of an advantage here. Dropping back was best. No, it wasn't huge on the knight. It wants the trade right away. The rook trade. Could have taken back with the pawn first, I guess. I just figured simplifying it and then having the pawn would just make it a little bit easier. That was good, but not a big thing. Oh yeah, it still really wants a4. I kept thinking about it, but I never went for it. And then here he made a mistake and he blundered his pawn, and I had a pretty good chance of winning at this point with the pass pawn, but then I definitely messed up after this. So I have a plus 1.38. Not a huge advantage. I mean, it's like about what I have materially. And it's not as big on pushing the pawn right away. I think I miscalculated this a little because I thought I could push it once. He goes back, push it again. He blocks, and then I defend it. But then the king can come over, and with the king's pressure on the pawn, I don't have another way to defend it, especially when it's on e7. So, yeah. It wants the rook here first, which is that threatening? It's not threatening discovery, really. Oh, it kind of is, yeah. Discovery on the pawn here. But he can go back. No, he can't. Yeah, he can. We just trade it. It did want me to push the pawn again. Here, here. Here. But once the king comes here... Okay, then I take this, which I did that later. Okay, we kind of ended up in the same exact situation, didn't we? Just played it a little bit later. So it actually did want me to give up the pawn, but maybe if I hadn't pushed it to begin with, I didn't need to. Because I put it closer to the king, and that made it a lot easier. The king wasn't able to attack it, but once I pushed it, he was. So I think that was definitely a mistake to push this pawn. It said it was only good, it didn't say a mistake, but to me it feels like that was probably a mistake. And support it. And this was inaccurate to take the pawn. Yeah, we ended up in the same position that it wanted me to get in, but it was because of some inaccuracies. King should have come up first here. Yeah, I just let his king get too active. I think that was the main reason I lost, but let's see. Dropped it back to cut him off, but I guess I was thinking that if he comes into this square, it already seems a little threatening, so I wanted to block it off first. But if the king comes up, then he comes down, then I have this check anyway, and he can't go anywhere here, so he does have to go back regardless, and my king's more active. So that makes sense as to why I should have come up first. Okay, it liked that I was attacking the pawn. Let's see if it liked the trade. Yeah, trade was best. This was my mistake. Here I have a +3 advantage, so I really was like totally winning. It did want me to push this and allow the en passant there. But what's the purpose of that? He takes here. I take. And then they're locked up, but they were locked up either way, so it seems like just wasting moves. To me. Let's see if he took en passant here. Same thing. Just gets locked up. But why did I lose the advantage with this move? I should have gone to the center, I guess. I did lock myself in when I eventually pushed this f-pawn. So far I still have a good advantage, +3 here. Or no, after that move it's +1.4. But I'm still winning. That was a miss for him. If he had played this, I push this. He pushes this, and it still gets locked up. So no matter what happens over here, the pawns all get locked up. That's why I wasn't even bothering with any moves over here. And I don't understand why they're good to do if it just gets locked up regardless. That was another mistake. I played this move very quickly. I didn't have a lot of time, but to me I thought it made sense. It prefers the king coming down. I guess all it came down to was the fact that I locked my king in this little box and his pawns were preventing me from going forward. And I had to sack that one pawn. And I almost had a way to promote, but it was just a couple moves behind his promotion over here because his king was able to eat up my pawns. So if I had stayed in the center, I could have prevented him from ever coming in while still supporting these pawns. So just not centralizing the king was the mistake, I think. Let me see if I went here. He comes here. Go out here. I didn't want him to come in here though and then like come down and get this pawn because it's undefended. Like what happens if he comes down? I take here. I mean, this whole area was not on my radar. Oh, and I get a pass pawn like that. If he takes en passant, I take here. And then I have a pass pawn with his king really far away from it, and my king can easily get to. That's really clever. I mean, I had basically just shut down this whole area like I wasn't thinking about it at all. Because in my mind, there was no way to do anything with it, but if I take, he takes, and then I push, he takes back en passant, and I get a pass pawn. And so does he. But because his king walked over here, I'm winning. So let's see what I actually played. I pushed this pawn. Now the game's even. That was a miss by him because it wants him to push over here instead. Great to come down. Mistake to come over this way. I was still worried about protecting the pawn in the corner. If I didn't find this move though, take, and then make the pass pawn, I feel like coming out to the center was kind of reliant on finding that move, which I didn't. So if I came out to the center, that's a miss already. Take. This might be kind of like a long game review, but I really want to understand these endgames better, especially with like all the complicated pawn changes staring at each other and figuring out when to push them and all that. Then I come up. And if he takes, which is what I was scared about, I didn't want him to take. Then I go here. If he takes here, I take back. And this is still drawing though. And he goes down. And then I just chase his pawns over here, I guess. What if he goes for this? Oh, because I can push that away so he can't get it. But I was worried that if he was ever able to eat this pawn, that he would just be a lot closer to promotion in this corner here. And it still seems like that would be the case. Like he moves, I go over here. Okay, that's a mistake. And then I do lose if I do that. So I had to play f4 for it to still work. But if he moves up here, then there's no threat of f4. Then I go over. That's still a mistake. What did he want me to play? He comes up, and then what do I even play there? This? No, that's the mistake. That's the mistake. Oh wait, no, I just play f4 right away anyway. Okay, yeah, I just blanked on the fact that I could still play f4 because it's defended. Then he pushes, and then it's going to be an equal promotion here. And we're still drawing. Okay. So let's go back. My first mistake was pushing that pawn. I was still good here, and then my second mistake was locking my king in the corner here. And now he's winning completely. That was the mistake that I saw in the eval bar. I'm surprised they didn't call this a blunder, because it went from... The eval went from +3 to -5 from that move. So that's like losing a queen, almost. Just from moving over to this square. And then he takes control of the center. Yeah, I was just scared of protecting this h-pawn, that's all it was. I gave the check real quick, thinking that it made sense because I didn't really have any other good moves. What did it want me to play? It wanted king back, but then he takes the pawn. So yeah, I'm just losing either way at this point. All from the one king move into the corner. So I gave the check, but then he has a much quicker way to promote. At the time, I thought maybe I could do this sacrifice and I would have time. But it was not even close to fast enough. It was like 2 or 3 moves away. Let's go to what I actually played. Okay, so, and then, you know, it was just trying to stalemate him at the end. I'm not going to bother looking at that. Or trying to get him to, like, accidentally blunder a stalemate on me with the 2 queens. So the only thing, I feel like the main thing I need to learn from was just this move, really. It's the I was totally winning. The eval bar is steadily going up, 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 up. And I was totally good for most of the whole game until this move. So this is the main thing I need to learn from in this game. This was basically my blunder. This was like losing a queen according to the eval bar. I had to come out. Wait, no. I did not come out. That says it was a miss. That brings it down to a draw. I mean, I would have been okay with a draw. Draw is not a big deal. I had to find this. And I guess the idea is once I bring these pawns closer, they're a little more accessible to my king, and I can win the race over here. It takes quite a bit of calculation to figure these kind of races out, though. Like pawn races with the kings eating up the pawns, and then you try to run across the board. So it still wants me to do this en passant idea. I mean, yeah, no, it makes sense that I'm going to win because I can catch his pawn. And he has to move out of the way to push these ones, and this one is totally accessible for my king, and this is way too far away for his king. If we do the box, where you draw a box from the pawn, his king is 2 squares out away from the box, so he's not anywhere near close enough to catching it. Okay, so that's what I should have done. I feel like this was a very instructive in-game, just this one move. I might go back and review a bunch of my in-games again at some point because I really want to get better at them. And I've been doing a little bit of in-game studying outside of the actual games, and I've learned a couple things. But I still have a lot of trouble with these kind of, you know, there's so many different pawn moves you can make, and finding the right moment to make a quick pawn break, I definitely have trouble with. So I want to keep working on that. And yeah, this has been day 60, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on day 61.